Hey everybody, welcome back to our newest episode of Insurance and Insights Senior Edition. And we are beyond excited to have our friend Steve Gurney here with us. He's with the Pro Aging Community. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do, your expertise?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Like a lot of people, I got into this world of senior living by accident. I observed my family caring for my aging grandfather and realized that there needed to be something for people like our family, resources. There wasn't much out there. So when I graduated from college, I started what is now known as the Positive Aging Sourcebook. And that's evolved over the years into the Positive Aging Community, and we provide a resource directory, weekly podcasts, an online directory, and a lot of other resources. But the thing that I love about the career that I have been in for over 35 years and just kind of accidentally backed into is that every day of the week I get to talk to older adults, family members of older adults that are helping them, and some amazing senior living professionals just like you all that are helping families and older adults make challenging decisions or plan for the future.
Yeah, I love that. I love so much about everything you just said. So I think you're a perfect guest for us as far as the next two questions that we'll be asking you. So first of all, in all your discussions and all the research and everything you've done so far to date, what is kind of that number one thing that most people are like, man, if only I would have known X sooner?
Well, this might come out with a couple of points, but
Okay.
first I would say that the phrase that I hear more than any other phrase in my career is "I'm not ready yet." And what I mean by that is that if I'm talking to somebody and I said, "Hey, have you considered moving to a senior community?" "Oh no, I'm not ready for that yet." "Hey,
Mhm.
it might be a good idea to put grab bars up in your bathroom because you said you're concerned about." "No, I'm not ready for that." The
Yep.
and so the phrase "I'm not ready for that" is very common. Okay. Now, the people that I've interviewed over the years that have made a variety of these decisions, moving to a retirement community, downsizing, helping their mom and dad, finish an estate, they all seem to say the same thing. "I wish I had done this earlier. I wish I had thought about this earlier." Um,
Mhm.
in the case of caregivers, they all say, "Wow, I don't want to do what my mom and dad did." Now, in the case of, let's use the example of somebody who resisted moving to a senior living community, and then they finally made that move, and they say, "Gosh, I wish I had done this earlier." I oftentimes follow up, and I'm sort of like, is there anything that somebody could have said to you that would have made you um, think about this earlier? And they really said, the tough thing is that was my view of growing older and senior living, and that's changed, but and now I'm trying to help spread the word. So
Yep. And just a follow-up to that point, because I think being involved with the senior resource partners that we work with through the lead share, I think there's this huge misconception of how nice these places are now. They are not the ones from 20, 30 years ago, right?
yeah, but here's a little something to make you think about there on that is that yes, these places are nice, but that's not why like I've had plenty of people walk in to the nicest place in the world and still say I'm not ready yet. And I'm going to give you a little insight on why a lot of people are dragging their feet, and it all
Mhm.
stems from ageism and age segregation. The thing that we got to remember is no matter how beautiful these places are, they're the only legally segregated places that are left in our society. You can't discriminate by race or religion or anything like that anymore. But we can build a community and say, young people are not allowed in this community. And that is why a lot of people are hesitant, no matter how beautiful and luxurious these places appear.
No, and I appreciate that. That's a really great thought. And so finally, one more thing is if you could give one piece or maybe a couple add-on pieces, but what would be your biggest piece of advice for anybody who's listening in to us today?
Well, you know, I hear a lot about stuff, okay, our possessions. And while, I have too much stuff, I have too much stuff in my background right now looking at it. It's the one thing that I hear a lot of, and I know this to be true, is that the 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 stuff that we have is not all that important. And when people, it's hard for people to give up the stuff that they have so many memories, they spent money on it, it meant something to them in their life, but when they give it up, they realize they all come to the same awakening. The stuff is not important, it's the memories, it's the things like that. And so the one of the words of advice that I give to people is take pictures of all your stuff, like write stories about it, and sort of follow the practices of Swedish death cleaning, which is basically says, hey, look, I don't want somebody coming through my house figuring out where all this stuff is going to go. I want to know where it's going to go while I'm alive. So I'm either going to give it away now, or I'm going to, if I don't want to do that, I'm going to let people in my life choose from this stuff. And it seems to be a very freeing and liberating process that people go through, but it's super challenging leading up to it.
No, no, those are all great points. Well, interesting enough, our last episode was actually with Lisa Bergoni regarding stuff. So that's perfect lead on to something we just covered. So awesome. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
I
So
love it.
thanks again, Steve. We really appreciate having you here, and we look forward to hopefully having you on again in the future.
I love it. Thanks so much.